Okay. I'm going to talk about what I had to do for the interior and give a little more info on the gauges and what went behind that. In the truck itself, well, I guess I'll start with the shifter. The top of the shifter is an S10 shifter, but the bottom is a Tacoma shifter. I just cut the two in half and then welded them together, and so it looks stock. For the gauge assembly, basically your oil pressure, your engine temperature, and speedometer and fuel level all come from the BCM. So the ECM gets this information, feeds it to the BCM, and the BCM digitally tells it to the sends a digital signal to the gauge assembly, and gets those to activate and do their thing. The tachometer is independent of the BCM and doesn't rely on a BCM, so it just goes directly from the ECM to the gauge assembly. It's just a white wire that feeds that, so you don't need to worry about that. I just use the AlphaFab Industries. They actually have a white wire that comes off of their ECM and the one that's driving the engine, and it works with this gauge perfectly. I did have to modify, of course, the speedo signal, because the Solstice tranny puts out a lot slower signal. So when I was doing about 35, it was reading about 10. So I got a Dakota Digital signal modifier, and now that reads correctly. There is no check engine light provision for the AlphaFab Industries ECM, so you will not have a check engine light. You're only going to know something's wrong when it starts running weird. And I long ago did away with my ABS light because the ABS module crapped out. But to get those bulbs out, you actually just have to take the gauge assembly out, take the plastic cover off the back, and desolder the two little LED bulbs for those guys, and then that works. So that's the gauges. As far as that goes, I'm going to fire it up. So it's got a nice clean signal, does everything it's supposed to do. Since the engine's still warming up, I'm going to have some pretty high oil pressure indication. I don't know if I can get that to go any higher when I rev it. Yep, so that jumps up. And then my fuel level's a little wonky because I have a bad fuel sending unit, but it does okay. My voltage works, got my 14 volts. Make sure she's out of gear so I don't kill it, and I'll just walk around for a sec. So it just runs, nice ticking away engine, does good, runs great, everything it's supposed to do. It's got a little bit of lope in the exhaust, and then just normal truck otherwise. But it revs really good. It's got tons of power, and I like it. So. And that's it.